What's up, Facebook? Eddie Harvey here. Hey, hope you all are having a great Friday. Happy Friday to all of you. Uh, man, I had some issues with my lives yesterday. Last night, I was trying to go live and talk about some different things with ebooks, and I couldn't do it. Facebook kept Facebook kept cutting off on me. So I don't know what that was all about, but it is what it is, and I'm gonna continue that one because I'm determined to finish talking about that. So I'll talk about that later on this afternoon. But I want to talk to you guys about leadership here for a quick second. I'm not going to be too long. I got to get ready and go grab my kids from school. But anyway, talk about leadership, guys, and the 10 steps on becoming a leader that people want to follow. I'm going to break this up into two parts. And, this is information I learned. So I'm definitely taking this information and sharing it with you guys. And hoping that it can be of value to you as it has been of value to me. So some good stuff here. All right. So, one thing with leadership, people want to be led. People are always looking for a leader to follow. You look at any great leader and you look at the movies, guys, there's always that one person who steps out of the crowd and lead the people, lead the charge and do different things. It's because sometimes being a leader is about stepping outside of the box and just doing something different, and people will follow. It can be something as small as, I take for instance, there's been times I've been in the airport and I've done it. I know you guys have probably done it before, where you'd be at a restaurant line and it'd be like two lines where like literally the lines are freaking out into the walkway. And then it'll be one register over there and no one's at it. And it's like, okay, does anyone not see that no one's standing at this register? And there's been times I've walked straight up to that register and placed my order, and then before I know it, boom, it's a line of people right behind me. Or I remember times when my mom, I would be in the car with her, and it'd be the summertime or whatever. Maybe I would drive the car and I'll pick her up from work, and we'll be coming from downtown Chicago heading home, and she would take a shortcut. She knew a route to go because traffic would be so bad. Chicago traffic is just ridiculous. So she would take a shortcut like through an alley and down a side street, and before you know it, it's like 10 other cars following her, because people just fell in line and say, okay, hey, this person is leading the charge. They know a different way. Let me fall in and let me follow behind them. So people want to be led, guys. And guess what? People want to be led by you. Whether you know it or not or believe it or not, there are a group of people out there specifically for you. Not for me, not for anybody else, not for any other leader. They are for you. They're meant for you to connect with and for you to lead them. They're just waiting for you to come and lead them. And how do you do that, guys? You just you continue to work on yourself daily. You continue to put value out daily, continue to work on your craft, learn skills, do the things that you need to do to increase your leadership skill set. And now I'm going to share with you a few of the steps. Like I said, I'm going to give you 5 here really quickly. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to come back with the other 5. So getting right to it, guys. The very first thing, guys, that you got to be as a leader, you have to be humble. A big part of being a leader is humble, guys. And, sometimes you see people, if you look at a lot of leaders, a lot of servant leaders, they, obviously they lead, they're in the front, but when it comes to craving attention and being, arrogant, they're typically not that. And, there's a fine line between being confident and being arrogant. It's one thing to be confident in yourself and confident in your abilities. It's another thing to be arrogant. And you don't want to come off as an arrogant person, jackass type of person. You want to come off as the humble guy who's completely, the humble woman who's completely confident in their abilities. And, you see it in the way they walk, the way they carry themselves. It's there. And a part of that is is about humility. Understanding that, being humble is just about being grateful for everything you've accomplished. And please understand, as being a leader, you can't get to the promised land by yourself. So you got to have that humility, understand that wherever you got to, there were other people there with you. There are other people that helped you get there. And one of the greatest leaders in the sports world, he's a great leader still to this day, Michael Jordan, who won 6 NBA championships with my hometown Chicago Bulls. In his Hall of Fame speech, one thing he said is, every time you saw me, you saw Scottie Pippen. And he said that, stating the fact that he knew as great as a leader he was, he had to have a great ensemble of characters, a great cast, supporting cast with him. And his main go-to guy, his sidekick, was Scottie Pippen. And, no shade to knock none of the other guys, but he knew that Scotty was that guy that if he was there, he knows Scotty was going to have to be rolling with him, and everybody else just fell in line. So, you know, he gave credit to where it was due, and he remained humble in the fact to understand that, you know, hey, Scotty was along for the ride with him, and Scotty, he couldn't have done it pretty much without him. You know, he was a key piece of them winning all those championships. So, you know, you got to stay, not only be humble, you got to have humility as a leader. The second thing, guys, is that you have to have a compelling vision. Leaders visualize, leaders look not only into the now, leaders look ahead to the future. You know, not only about what's in front of you right now, leaders look 6 months, a year, 2, 3, 5 years in advance and have a game plan laid out. And a lot of leaders, if you look at their vision, it's not just about them, it's about others as well. Again, so you got to have a vision that's bigger than yourself, and you got to, and inside of that vision, you have to include others. You got to think about others. You just can't think about me, because like I said, with being humble and having humility is not just about you, right? Because, you know, as I said, there's no I in team, but you got to understand that you got to think about others and be able to expand that vision to say, hey, you know, if I help enough people get what they want, by default, I'm going to get what I want. And that's in coming from a genuine standpoint of helping, truly wanting to help people. And that's actually my phrase. I live by that phrase. I have it on my Facebook page, my Twitter page, and that's how I truly feel. And, you know, I've heard JFK said that phrase. Jim Rohn has said that phrase. A few people have said that phrase, and it's so true that if you help enough people get what they want, by default, you'll get what you want. And that's coming as a servant leader, coming from a place of wanting to help others and pull others up with you. So that's what it's about. So you have to have a great vision. All right, that's number 2. Number 3 is take responsibility. All leaders take responsibilities for their actions. You got to be the first one to step up and be responsible for whatever is going on, be it good, bad, or indifferent. You know, a leader is not a type of person who takes all of the credit. You know, yeah, you take the credit that's due to you, that's justly due to you. You take the credit for when things are going great, things are going good. You know, nothing wrong with taking that credit, but what about when things are not going well? What about when there are problems, there are complications? What about when you make an error, when you mess up as a leader? You got to be the first one to raise your hand then too and say, hey, my bad, that's my fault. I take full responsibility for it. So you want to take full responsibility for your good deeds, actions, and the good things you've done, but also you can't be shameful and not be afraid and have no fear and try to put it off on somebody else when you don't do what you're supposed to do. Everybody makes mistakes, right? We all make mistakes, and part of being a leader is making mistakes. If you don't make a mistake, you're not trying, you're not going to succeed, you're not going to win. So mistakes are a natural part of the process. That's one of the ways you learn. You make a mistake, you learn from it, you fix that mistake and move forward. So mistakes are part of the process. So everyone deserves a second chance. Everyone makes mistakes, but as a leader, you know, you got to understand that you got to be willing to take responsibility for everything you've done, as far as good, bad, indifferent, whatever it may be. And, you know, also realize that just like as a leader, leaders got to have time to work with leaders, and leaders make mistakes. People on your team are going to make mistakes, and you got to look at them and say, hey, I'm willing to give them another shot. Now, if someone keeps doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, that's something totally different. But a mistake or 2 mistakes, and if a person is working to correct that mistake and bounce back from it and fix it and not have it happen again, then that's part of the process, guys. And you got to be responsible, not only for others, but for yourself and what you do. All right, so that's the third thing as a leader. The fourth thing, guys, is that you, thanks for the likes, whoever's dropping likes, and anybody else, if you're finding value in this, guys, hit me up with some likes. And by the way, guys, I'll be going live like 2 to 3 times per day, trying to give you guys some value, share some tips. When it's over, if you haven't subscribed to my feed yet, go ahead. Once it's done, you can look in the middle, I think, the button, and you can subscribe right there. Also, if you get value in this, you think someone can benefit from it, go ahead and hit like, comment, share, whatever. So I would love the interaction from you all. So the fourth thing, guys, is that you must be consistent. Oh man, this is just like a huge part of being a leader. You have to be consistent, and you got to be consistent more than anyone else and before anybody else, because everyone's going to be looking at you, and you're the one who sets the tone. I actually got a message from a Facebook friend of mine. I haven't talked to her in a while. She messaged me yesterday, and she was just, saying hello and everything. And she was just saying she loved my videos, and she said, I've always been consistent. And that made me feel good. And, that made me feel good because you never know who's watching. And I was being consistent in my efforts, and it's something that, I got complimented on, and I took that and I was appreciative of it. And all it does is motivate me to be even more consistent, right? Because I know people are watching. People are watching you on a daily basis. You just don't know who. So you got to be consistent, not only just for them, but for yourself. If you want to accomplish anything, consistency is a key cog, a key part of you reaching your goals. You have to be consistent, bar none. So you got to be consistent on a daily basis with your efforts, even on the days you don't feel like it. That's what leaders do. It's going to be days you want to feel like taking that day off. You want to feel like doing nothing, but guess what? You still got to do it. You got to be consistent in your effort, because when you do it, the people that are watching on your team and others that are watching from afar who may want to join you or do business with you, it's going to show them that you have that model of consistency, and they're going to know that's something that they need to be doing and they need to bring to the table. All right. So the fifth thing for you guys is to be affirming. So you want to be of service to others, and be affirming is mean giving people confirmation. One of the things when you are in a leadership role, you definitely have to critique people on things that they're doing. People come to you with different strategies or whatever, or if something they're doing, you want to give them the constructive criticism to show them how to get better, how to improve. And you got to let people know when they're doing something right or when they're doing something wrong. You got to be real with people. As they say, tell people what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. But at the same time, you want to be affirming. Where if someone is doing all of the right things, if they are doing all of the right actions, and they come to you and say, hey, how does this look? You want to tell them that looks great. You're on the right track. You're doing great. Keep it up. Just continue to do more of what you've been doing. Continue to do that every single day. And that does wonders for some people, because if they're looking to you as their leader, mentor, whatever, and you give them that confirmation that they're doing the right things, that's going to set fire into some people. Man, they're going to keep rolling like, oh man, they told me I'm doing right. I'm on the right track. So let me just step this up even more, to get my results, to accomplish what I need to accomplish. So that's part of serving others, guys, is, giving them confirmation, making people feel good, and letting them know, giving them kudos when kudos are due to them, and letting them know that they are in the right lane, they're doing the right things. Just keep it up and continue to do more of it. So that's what I have for you guys today. Those are the first 5. This is part 1. Tomorrow I'll be back with part 2, guys, to share with you, as far as the 10 steps on, what it takes to be the leader that people want to follow. So I hope you all got some value from this. If you did, go ahead and hit me up with some more likes, some hearts, whatever it may be. Subscribe to my feed, guys. And I look forward to sharing part 2 with you guys tomorrow. So with that being said, I'm done. But if you guys want to learn more about me, connect with me. If you're building a business and you want some free marketing tips, trainings, some techniques, guys, you can head over to my blog at eddielharvey.com. There's a lot of good free resources over there that I know can definitely help you in your business. So I appreciate you guys for watching. Look like Facebook Live is working for me good here again. But I'll be back later to talk to you guys some more. So appreciate you all. Take care and have a great Friday.